Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm your host, Doc Rod, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-host Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Christopher G. Mohr, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing The Black Demon.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, yes, and
Dun, 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 dun,
play
dun,
that,
dun,
play
dun,
that,
dun.
play that dramatic
El
music, white
demonio.
boy. All right. Also joining me this week are also. Why did I say also? I don't know, but let's go with it. Is the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
Shut up. I'm doing great. I'm doing great as long as I can agree with myself.
Don't think you will. All right. Also joining us is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr. How you doing, sir?
We need a bigger oil rig.
Boy, yes,
they did.
yes,
They
they
did.
did. Need a big- That is hilarious. All right. We are going to review Black Demon. We are going to start off giving you our first impressions. As first impressions will be spoiler-free. Then we'll get into a discussion about the film. We'll get into some spoilers, some key deaths and scenes, and maybe a little dog too. And then we'll wrap things up with a score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. And of course, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like, subscribe, and share with a friend buttons. Each click will help us find more horror fans just like you. It works better when you do it, Chris. Anywho, let's get into things. But
Do we have an anniversary or something?
we do. But before we get into things,
Oh.
let's talk about the anniversary. As Jeff steals my thunder, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary of H&R, Gruesome Magazine, and Decades of Horror. It started a week or so back with the review of Evil Dead Rise, maybe the best film of the year, Christopher? And ends in February, early March of 2024 with the inaugural Grue-Cruise. That's right. We're going on a cruise, the Grue-Crew, and any and all fans who want to join us on a Grue-Cruise, 3 days of horror and fun in the sun. Woot, woot, woot.
Grue-Crew.
Sing it. All right. If you're interested in finding out more about it, check the Gruesome Magazine site or the link down below. We'd love to see you there. All right.
If you're in search of Grue, this is the place to be.
There's Grue all over the place. All right. Let's look at the Black Demon 2023 from The Avenue. Available in select theaters beginning April 28, 2023. Synopsis is, on IMDb, is stranded on a crumbling rig in Baja. A family faces off against a vengeful megalodon shark. I like that. Here's a longer one. Josh Lucas stars in the edge-of-your-seat action thriller from director of Rambo: Last Blood. Oilman Paul Sturges' idyllic family vacation turns into a nightmare when they encounter a ferocious megalodon shark that will stop at nothing to protect its territory. Stranded and under constant attack, Paul and his family must somehow find a way to get his family back to shore alive before it strikes again in this epic battle between humans and nature. Directed by Adrian Grunberg, written by Boise Esquerra. Or Boys Esquerra, one or the other. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. From a story by Carlos Cisco. The cast includes Josh Lucas, Fernanda Urojola. I mispronounced that and I apologize. And Julio Cesar Cedillo. I think that was pretty close. Maybe 75%? I don't know.
It's better than normal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's get into our first impressions. Jeff Mohr, sir, you are up first.
Okay. I thought this had a great setup and an interesting premise, but it falls apart after that for me. I mean, this is like the dumbest. These people are the stupidest people with the exception of the local people that are the two guys that are left on the rig, and the two kids. But wow, just I just don't even know where to start. This is like the science scene is like from it's not even up to par with 50 science fiction movies. the stuff that this guy says just blows me away. Anyway, yeah. So I like the idea of the story, but it just the characters just do dumb stuff, and I don't know what else to say other than it's stupid. Now, if you like stupid action flicks, hey, go for it. And it does have some positives, as I mentioned. The guys that play Chato and Junior, and the two little kids are probably the smartest. They're much smarter than their parents. That was obvious. I think I'll stop right there because I'm just going to keep.
Hey, the dog's awesome too.
Yes.
Got to give the dog some credit.
Teeny tiny dog.
Yes, with a big bark. Christopher G. Mohr, sir, what was your first impression of the Black Demon?
This is the on deadly ground of shark films. if you that's so a deep cut. That's the Steven Seagal environmental action flick.
No,
that involves an oil rig.
There you go.
Because they really hit you over the head with the environmental element at the very end. It's almost like stock videography, but there's like a whole stock videography part that happens. I'm like, what is okay? We get it. Oil is damaging our environment. Okay. I'm here to see sharks eat people. I think you forgot the premise of what you've created here. I will say a lot of the underwater photography is great, which makes up for the fact for all the crappy shark films that we have to watch. So they have that going for it. But yeah, I think it doesn't matter having all the best CGI in the world. It doesn't make up for stupid characters. And there's no chemistry in that family whatsoever. It just feels like they just threw 4 people together, and then it just becomes ridiculous. First of all, I wouldn't leave my wife in the middle of Mexico. Have you
not in that town?
Not that town. Like that. You're just. I mean, come on.
But I'll slip the bartender a couple bucks, and
and nobody will see you pulling wads of money out. Nobody's probably going to come after you for that. But yeah, and then there's just moments where I mean, I understand that the aspect, especially when they get out on the rig, of how it drives you crazy and stuff, and maybe makes people more argumentative. But I don't know, really, that the father is just the asshole character of the year. Because a lot of times, you can watch these films, you can have stupid characters and they're okay, and you can put up with it. But these characters are just so annoying. You just kind of wish the shark would just eat a lot of them.
Eat them all.
But yeah, and I agree with Jeff. I think the more interesting characters are the locals, which you feel bad about. But yeah, and there's just moments it's just bad storytelling. I mean, when you have there's like one memory that made me laugh because they're literally yelling in the same room as the kids.
Right.
And the kid's like, "Are you arguing?" No, we're not arguing. What are you yelling love to each other? You're literally screaming at each other, and one of them's crying, and I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah, but it is what parents do, though.
It is what parents do, but that was just, I mean, come on. Even my parents, if they were arguing, we're arguing. Come on. This is stupid. Yeah, I mean, for me, I liked it when we got away from the characters. I liked a lot of the underwater cinematography. I love how because I was kind of, I mean, I loved how they were kind of hiding a lot of the effects of it, which was kind of, and I think when you have like an underwater thing with all kinds of gurgling and oil releasing and stuff, it kind of creates a kind of a cool environment to be in, especially when they go down in that the bell scene, without being too spoilerish. But yeah, the underwater scenes I think were really well done, and kind of hide the fact that you've got a big ass CGI demon shark. But yeah, there's just arguments about religion and and environmental, and it's like what is James Cameron producing this? But yeah, I think the stupid people. I mean, like I'd rather go watch Deep Blue Sea when you have stupid characters that you used to enjoy watching. But yeah, the whole family weird dynamic just kind of ruins the flow of the film for me. But that's my first impression.
Yeah, I've been thinking about what I thought of this movie, because I there's a lot that I liked, and then there's a lot that I really disliked. In the end, I enjoyed myself. I had a good time with this film. It's just a stupid shark movie, but at the same time, it's better than a lot of the stupid shark movies we get.
Sure.
It's not in the top tier by any stretch of the imagination, but I do believe it's better than most that we get here recently. There,
Give me an
Josh,
example.
give you an example. No, I'm not going to get that. It'd be way too long of a discussion. But,
all right.
I mean, there's, God, just what was that Applegate one that came out, or wasn't Applegate? What was it?
The wreck one.
Yeah, the wreck one. Stuff like that. It was just so bad.
It's no Jaws Exorcist.
Right. But it's but I've been enjoying a lot of the ones that go to the theaters. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Anyway, go back to this movie. I thought the shark, while the shark was, entirely CGI, I thought a lot of it actually worked, especially underwater. Now, there's a jump scene out of the water that is a little redonkulous, but at the same time, it's fine. I've seen a lot worse again, right? Any asylum film that has sharks is worse for special effects. But to circle back around to what I was saying, is what I was trying to figure out is, you nailed it, Christopher. It's the chemistry between the family dynamic in this. Just there's nothing. There's no threads, and the kids are much more interesting than the adults. And Josh Lucas is I like him. He's a good actor, and he's acting. He doesn't. I don't think he realizes what film he's in. He's not acting in the way this film needs, but he's giving it his all. But the problem is, he's so much more oomph and serious than everybody else is, that it's weird. The way his character is portrayed.
It's more angry than everybody.
Yeah. It's really, it's just strange. But I did like Jeff said, I did like the two locals, the two remaining guys that are stuck on the thing, and especially how they treated the kids. When they were with the kids, it was really interesting, especially the young boy. And the young boy is VIP. Give everybody pirate patches for him. There's aspects of it that I really like. There's this kind of a supernatural aspect of it, as far as making your mind think you're seeing something and there's not, that I thought I really enjoyed, but I wish they had gone more into. And we'll get into that when we get into spoilers, because some of the better scenes have that aspect to it. There is a couple of gruesome shots. There's one gruesome death shot, but there's other gruesome shots that you see. But then there's all this political corporate stuff that's going on underneath the scenes, that are driving a lot of the conflict, and also driving a lot of the plot armor, if you will, with a certain element that's attached to the bottom of the rig. So it's just so strange. And I there's so much of it that I like, and then there's so much of it that I'm with you guys that it's like, what's this movie? What the hell? It's a bit ridiculous, but at the end, I enjoyed myself, despite myself.
Well, and it
Despite
also, I mean, they also try to add more. They try to change up the whole Jaws type scenario by having like, oh, you have these nightmare, or you have these illusions or visions, and that which there's one point I was like, am I watching Jaws 3D?
Like it's mythological, right?
yeah.
But there's like the eyeballs thing. It's like,
I love that.
Am I watching Jaws 3D?
I was waiting. I was like, is this supposed to be in 3D?
That would have been a good 3D shot of it.
It would have been.
But it is 3D.
Yeah, and I was waiting for it to turn
But
around.
it was like so CGI eyeball.
But it was great. It was perfect for that shot.
I love the scene where she falls, the girl falls.
That's a great scene.
Water, and then they get out, and then you find out she imagined the whole thing.
I know. I didn't think that.
I would have loved it if there was all these body parts just floating down.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure the fish probably would have. Well, I guess the fish are scared off by the big fish.
Something would have.
Okay, so the father arrives. First off.
Okay, wait. Before you get into it, just if anybody didn't know, we're in spoilers now. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought. Yep. Good. Yeah. I'm going to spoil something.
Go ahead.
I'm going to spoil a bunch. So they show up. They're sort of like an anniversary family trip, but he's supposed to go inspect this rig that I guess they try to explain this later on, but like there's no way in hell that he would go and inspect this thing and not have any idea how screwed up it is, and that nobody's been able to contact it. Although they try to say later on the corporation's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
So I guess they wouldn't have told him that everybody died from and then he walks, they get into this town. It's obviously it's like a ghost town. And every person living in the town alongside the road gives him the stink eye. And so what does he do? He gets out and walks up to four guys on the side of the road. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, he's arrogant. He's arrogant. He's
arrogant as hell, and he thinks all he has to do is pull out a wad of money for anybody, you know. And his wife kind of thinks that too. So, so then the dad leaves him there for a stranger to keep an eye on him. I don't know why he thought it would take any time to go inspect this thing, because all he needed to do was sign a fake report anyway, like he did all the other times.
Which is probably why he did. He probably was just going to drive out there and then drive back.
Anyway, the radio, he tells the guy to call him out there. The person running the radio doesn't. He knows he can't call anybody. Doesn't say a word to him.
But he doesn't like him. He's a gringo. Yeah.
The company doesn't know about the leak. When he's
they do. They want to blow it. They do know about it.
Yeah, I know. But come on. So then when he's fixing the stuff, there's a thing where he talks about maybe if I fix the waterways, I can get the generator to work. I'm like, what? I'm trying to look. I want some people that are actual engineers from oil companies to tell me if that makes any sense at all, because that just sounds like complete mumbo jumbo. And then the other thing he does to fix something, then he sort of magically fixes the generator. I got the generator working, and then the other guy, like, this is the first time I fired up the radio. I don't know. It just all just seemed so stupid. And then that one point where the little kid falls in, right? I swear I could hear the old drive-in movie jingle. Let's all go to the snack bar. they all go jumping into the water at the same time to save this kid. I'm like, how many people need to save him? Anyway, I just...
Well, and I almost feel like they heard that this. I feel like that was that a real oil rig that they kind of destructed. It almost felt like they heard this oil rig was going to be destroyed or whatever, and they like, we can film a film there, and we'll film it being destroyed. You know, like when they film it like at a building, and
right.
And so I think they probably didn't take into consideration how those structures work, and they create their quasi science about how it works, and you know, normal people may not understand it. But even I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
What's
it
going on?
also could be entirely in their minds. The entire thing. It could look entirely different.
Don't be pulling that M Night shit.
But it
on
could.
us.
It could. I mean, why would they only?
It was
do
all
like
a
3 or 4
dream all
times?
along.
Or, yeah, maybe the shark never was actually there.
Oh God.
So there's a this is supposedly based on a true legend too.
Yeah, well, I imagine that.
Well,
And
I mean, I would assume
without
that
the oil
the,
rig.
Well,
Yeah, I
fishermen
mean-
from Baja California disappearing and the black demon being blamed.
Well, and I guess that's like a lot of legends and stuff, especially when it comes to the sea, where they automatically assume some huge monster took people away, when a lot of times it might be just, it's a rough waters in that part of.
And
But
they
yeah.
had the stuff to support. They had the little, the little figures, and they had the story about the thing would rain tears till it flooded everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that part of it. I thought that could have been.
I
a
like
little
the
more.
mythology part of it.
That was
but
interesting.
The father was just, I never saw him do anything that wasn't stupid.
when he's running around that first time, he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then they're like,
Yeah.
when they're like talking about like, "Don't be saying that. Don't be saying that." And
What's going on? Here, tell me what?
He kept saying the same. I was like, "Is that half his script? Is him just commenting why people are doing things?" And it's like, that's not a competent script. When
This is what I do. I ask questions and I don't give people time to answer them.
Yeah, and it's like, how does this? And then you're signing off on these things, knowing that the place is broken, but then you're making comments. No wonder this place is broken. No, you knew it was broken. You idiot.
Knew it was broken.
No, I actually thought the oil rig destruction. I thought that was CGI. I don't know. Usually, you guys are.
I don't know. Because I was looking at it and it didn't. It was it looked too. There was a lot of moving parts that would require a lot of money to pull off for that kind of shot. So or it could be a model. I mean, if they had the money to sort of create some kind of thing, but I'll have to go back and look at that, because I was thinking like that looks like they actually destroyed something, and that's why I thought, well, that seems like something where they set it up, and that like when you've seen so many movies where they're like, this building's going to be destroyed or this bridge is going to be destroyed, so let's set the story around that, and then we can have our camera set to be able to watch it explode.
And nobody could fix this leak until he shows up, and then at the last minute figures out how to fix it in like 5 minutes.
But did he? It could have been a dream. I like the beginning of it. There's an aspect of the beginning with the scene that starts the movie. There's only one part of it. The rest of it was kind of bullshit. But there's a part where like other fish, like jellyfish and other fish, like start to come up and swim around this one guy, as if they were like trying to contain him. And it was just, even though it was like CGI, it's kind of like when the body parts are around the other guy. It looked really good. And I was like, it had me have a little hope. And I knew we weren't going to see shark or anything at that point, but
yeah, it looked great. Although again,
we never saw it again though.
But you don't stick your hand out to touch a jellyfish. I'm sorry. You're an idiot if you're sticking your hand out to touch a jellyfish.
Well, he didn't get stung.
Well, and then that boat he had to use to drive out to the oil rig, he's standing up in it in the ocean, and they showed pretty good shots of the inside of that boat. There's no flotation device anywhere in that boat, which a safety engineer would not. I mean, that's just little shit like that drove me nuts. I was continually going, "Oh, come on!"
You were barking at the film the entire time. Award for the best dog in a movie. All right, let's go ahead. He gave him some shit. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. Jeff Mohr, sir. This will be fun. What is your score and favorite scene?
Well, I'm going to be kind of nice. I'm giving this a 2.5 just because I figure people are going to like this may be a cult movie 20 years from now.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know.
Okay. Okay.
not that I really think that would happen, but you never know. I mean, anyway, wow, favorite scene. I'm gonna say when they, that's another thing. Those guys went down on that diving bell, and they go through the airlock, and the way they cut it, it looks like they just drop into it and come out the bottom. But when they drop into it, they didn't even have their tanks or masks or nothing on. And they just kind of come out, just like it magically. There was like some kind of robot in there that put everything on them as they flowed by or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they kind of give you an idea when he hands them the flippers, but yeah, they didn't bother to.
But I'll say when they try to lift Junior out of the
yes, that is.
I mean, you knew it was coming, but let's stretch it out as long as we can. Trying to reach, but anyway,
it was good. It was good. That is probably the best shot in the entire movie. I'll give you that. Christopher G. Mohr, your score and favorite scene.
I will say, I don't know about you guys, and I love that line where he's like, "Jesus Christ, no, it's the Black Demon." That's the best use of a title in a movie. That just made me laugh so loud because it's so stupid. And I think that sums up the stupidity of this film. But I don't know if it's one of those films I kind of hate. It's kind of I feel like it will be some kind of cult thing at some point. Like, I don't know. Where you could definitely do a drinking game around idiotic type things. I don't know. I still was entertained by it, and I think it's got some great underwater photography. So I'll say 3.25.
Oh, nice.
I think the visuals of the underwater stuff, I think it's kind of hard to. I mean, you have that movie Underwater that kind of did wet for dry or dry for wet, I guess. That kind of looked, and I think this, I'm not sure what.
Wet for dry.
And I think whoever
they use that for slow motion scenes.
There you go.
Because there's one where the camera goes all around Josh Lucas when he's going underwater, and it's very seamless. So I think to be able to pull that off looked really great, and I think that just the filmmaking in general is worthy to see, and definitely is a better character than some of the characters in the movie. As for rating, I give you rating. As for favorite scene, I just like the shot when the bell thing is just sitting there in the middle of that expanse of blue and stuff. It's such a beautiful. It almost looks almost like a painting or whatever. And I just love the look of that when it goes down and you see it,
because it's so yellow against all the
and it just looks so beautiful. And I think things like that, the framing of that and how they just utilize special effects to sort of make it look all beautiful and stuff. I just love. I mean, those shots. I think I was more interested in underwater stuff than I was above water.
I agree. I agree with that.
So yeah, I'll say that specific scene just really stood out to me. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah. One thing I also wanted to say was that it was so overly melodramatic at times, both in the acting and the storyline and in the music. The music just like swelled when it is like, what are you doing? It's like so corny. Which there you go. I was going to give this 3.25 too, but I felt like I liked it a lot more than you did, Christopher.
I'm looking at the visuals. I'm not really the characters.
Oh, well, I can see that. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I wouldn't say it's a good movie. It's not going to be in my top 10, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be in my bottom 10 either. So, and I do think I'll remember it. I do think I'll remember this one for how stupid it is, like you said. But so I don't know. There's something there. There's something there. My favorite scene, you guys picked great scenes, by the way. But I'm going to go with the floating body parts, both scenes. I'm going to steal both of them since neither of you chose it. But the girl falls in at first, and you see all these body parts, and it freaks her out. And it was such a great shot and so shocking. We weren't ready for that. And then we see it later with the other guy when they start like dropping down around him, and it ends with the eyeball that you were talking about. And it was just, it was effective, and it was also composed really well.
Great.
Yeah, it was composed really well. I mean, it was obviously
you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to spin around and look at him.
But it was just composed really well. Even though it was obviously CGI, it wasn't sore, right? It wasn't like, oh God, that's terrible CGI. It was like, okay, yeah, but so it worked for me, and so did the gag. So I'm going to go with those scenes combined, just that the idea. Not really sure why they didn't use that aspect of it more. I mean, they did one other time, I think, when they saw the ships on the horizon, but they didn't. I can't remember another time they used it.
It wasn't used as much as it could have been. Although I will say, the scene where they pulled out half of a guy out was actually a cool gore shot.
and really, I mean, other than the CGI body parts, was really
there wasn't a lot of gore in it, but that was a really even though it was very, very brief, but it was very powerful.
Well, they stretched it out as long as they could in terms of the scene. You know, with Josh Lucas reaching for it.
Because we all knew it. Yeah, that guy's not going to be a full guy.
No. And the way they had the girl, the daughter see it, but then she shielded her brother was also very effective too.
Right. And then they lied to him about where Junior was.
That was funny.
I don't know if they ever actually told him. He obviously went on the boat when they left.
Well, he also wasn't on that little boat he created, so he knew by then.
And tell me, what did that mean at the end?
That was all symbolism. That was because the father fell off. The father fell off.
Well, I got the father fell off, but the whole thing went.
Because
I think they're like, hey,
it wasn't done yet.
If this does well, Black Demon, Black more Black or Black Demon or whatever they're gonna call it.
Black Demons.
It would have been nice to see some chunks falling around him, a la Jaws. Maybe that would have been too close.
If the shark was actually there.
Oh, stop. I would hate this movie. This movie get a 0 if that was the case. So don't even put that in my head, Doc, because I would be so mad if that was the case. That'd be a waste of me watching a movie if the whole thing was just a dream.
No. Well, no, it actually happened to him, but they just imagined. All right, there you go.
Stop.
That's our review for The Black Demon. It's out in theaters now. It'll be, look for it from the Avenue, a new distribution team and or distributor. And we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this one. Let us know.
Yeah, you can have a good drinking game if you took a shot every time Josh Lucas's character does something stupid.
Like shows up.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff, Christopher, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Gotta love stupid characters.
Yes. I'm glad we got to do these films that we did tonight. Especially, I kind of like that we did this one. I don't know. I kind of like it when they flop around like this. All right.
Okay.
let's get out
on that note.
I love that old guy that was scaling the fish when they first show up.
Oh yeah, he
trying to create that tension.
To scale that fish.
I was like, dang, he's evidently never scaled a fish before.
He's very concentrating on that. Very good to scale the fish. All right, let's get out of here. Let's say good night.
Good night, everybody. Gruesome Magazine.